English with deck. Good morning, my fellow people. How are yous all doing today? How are yous doing? How are yous doing? If you haven't heard that one before, there you go. Throw it into your notebook and use it freely. How are yous doing today? I wonder how that will come out in the transcript of this episode. Will it come out correctly or not? Interesting. Yeah, so I hope everyone is doing fantastic today. Today marks the day of the second, not the third, the second Deck English YouTube Live. And, I realised something this time around. Maybe before I had a bit of nerves, there was like somewhere inside of me a little bit of, oh, fear, scared, petrified, what if, all that kind of stuff. Whereas today, I felt it went a lot better, as in more confident, more assertive, more with it. Yeah, more professional. Is that a good way to say it? Well, as professional as I can look. But, just doing it that first time really gave me an insight into what to expect, how to feel, how to look, blah, blah, blah. And the second time today really felt different, really felt more natural. So I am obviously curious to hear any feedback about the way I carried myself today. Of course, if you have any feedback on that, apart from the English, the way I'm recording, the methods I'm speaking about, etc. Absolutely, let people know. Let me know, of course. But it's that whole thing of practice makes perfect, and I think that really does get overlooked sometimes. I think what happened today, I went, well, let me start at the beginning. Let me rewind. Let me go back a little. Now, if we practice something regularly, we usually get better. We get more accomplished at it. And that goes for pretty much everything, it could be work, it could be studying, it could be sports, it could be an instrument. You name it. I can't think of anything where that wouldn't be the case. Of course, some people are naturally gifted at certain things. Good for them. Kudos to them. But not everyone. In fact, the majority of people are not naturally gifted at this or not naturally gifted at that. But they might be naturally gifted at something else, You do get some people, especially in music and sports, who are just all-rounders, They're good at everything. A great phrase here can be used. Now, this phrase I'm about to say, it's not derogatory. It's not overly negative, but instead of being an expert at everything, someone could be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Now, let's break that down really quickly. Jack of all trades. Jack, very common boy's name, quite often used as an example name, So, Jack of all trades, meaning someone who does a bit of everything, especially in construction and stuff, but can be used interchangeably in other sectors and other instances. So, Jack of all trades, someone who does everything. Jack of all trades, but master of none. But master of none. So, someone who does everything, but is not amazing at anything. So can do this, but can do that, but, and it really does come down to trying to sort of make sure we practice and we hone our skills. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is because today, yesterday I thought I'd do a reasonably sized run for the first time in a while. And I say the first time in a while because a couple of months ago I had a little operation. Little operation. No need to consolidate me. I'm okay. It's okay. It's okay. I survived. I had a little operation, and that meant that I had to sort of hold back on exercise for a month, and then after the first month, I sort of reintroduced exercise into my life gradually. However, I've been on a couple of runs over the past month, but I felt like doing a good one today. No half marathon size, but good pace on it. And I got ready to go. I got the girls ready for school. I had my running stuff on. Checked the weather forecast, and I was like, okay, I've got to a lunchtime to go running. So I thought, let's do this. Get home from dropping the kids off. Quick, good run, and then crack on with the day. However, en route to this first drop-off point for my oldest daughter, it started to splatters of raindrops struck the car windshield. And I was like, okay, it's going to rain. Looks like the weather forecast was wrong. Checked again, it had changed. Anyway, not to worry. I thought maybe I can do it anyway. Anyway, I got home and it was really chucking it down. It was like, pa, 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 psh, 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 psh. And I thought, I can't even be bothered now. But I was like, Deck, you need to keep exercising. Don't give up. So I thought, okay, well, what I'll do, I'll have a good stretch and a pretty good core workout instead, just for today. And actually, I am so happy I did that. You know why? Because I realised if I'd have gone for a good run, my legs are not quite at that point, and there's a good chance I would have sort of done a bigger injury to myself than it was worth it. If you go running for the first time in a while and you just go straight off the bat to your old pace, you're going to do some damage. And I've been there. I've done that. It's not fun. And I wear that t-shirt very, very shamefully, Yeah. So I'm really happy, actually. It did rain. And I ended up just doing a good core workout with a good stretch out. And then tomorrow, let's do, or even later today, potentially if the weather clears up, but definitely tomorrow, I will do the run I had planned after a very good stretch tonight and tomorrow morning. So there, definitely a reminder just to keep practicing, not jump the gun, so to speak. Remember, you've got to walk before you can run, as they say. Okay, well, there we go. I hope you're having a wonderful morning, a spectacular afternoon, and, of course, a fabulous evening. Okay, bye for now. See you in the next one.